Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome back to RJR Football for the divisional round episode of Kingdom Corner. Your Chiefs are playing the Cleveland Browns tomorrow, playing host at Arrowhead. But today we've got the Bills and Ravens playing right now as we speak. The Bills are up 3-0. Amazingly, not a tie game because Justin Tucker, one of the most reliable kickers in the history of the league, missed his field goal from short range. Bills are up 3-0. Not to worry about that right now. Right now we got to focus on the Cleveland Browns. A team that a lot of people think that we're taking for granted, and a lot of the stuff coming out of Brownsville is that they will overlook the Cleveland Browns on their path to run it back. We're well into our path to run it back. Brought up the championship hat from the Super Bowl because it's time, folks. We got to get the rally cap set. We got to get ready to rock and roll. After watching what Aaron Rodgers did today, primo vintage Aaron Rodgers. If they meet us in the Super Bowl, it's going to be a big challenge. We got a long way to go before then. The biggest hurdle right now that people seem to be thinking is in the Chiefs' way is the run game. As always, like last year, talking about the run game. Chiefs can't run the ball. Chiefs can't stop the run. Again, as I said last year, this year, these are fallacies. The Chiefs do what they choose to do to win the football game. They do what they need to do to win the football game to the tune of 14-1 going into a meaningless Week 17 football game where they played most of their second and third stringers and rested all their key starters. The Chiefs football team can run the football, folks. I'm here to tell you they can run it as well as they stop it. Why do I say that? Because in the Chiefs offense, they ran the ball 4.5 yards per carry. The Chiefs defense allowed the opponents to run the ball 4.5 yards per carry. The Chiefs were outrushed on the season by a total of 155 rushing yards. I don't compare how other teams run the ball and what their total stats are. I look at what did the Chiefs opponents do against the Chiefs. Okay, and 155 yards, if you're doing the math, isn't 10 yards per game. It's below 10 yards per game in a 16-week season. They've allowed 9 and change yards per game more to their opponents on average than they've gotten themselves. The Chiefs outrushed their opponents 7 out of the first 15 games. Okay, again, the last game, I'm not even counting that, even though Darwin Thompson went off and had a great day for a backup that got some really meaningful reps. Also got to see Pringle in there getting some meaningful reps as well. But on the contrary to the running the ball for 9 yards per game less than their opponents, the Chiefs passed the ball on the season for over 1,100 yards more than their opponents. This is a substantial difference. This is not a meaningless 9 yards per game. This is a legitimate, we're better than you in this area of the football game stat. Back to the run game, people talk about the Chiefs being able to run and stop the run. The most rushing yards they allowed was 185 yards to the Baltimore Ravens while they were kicking their butts. The most rushing yards the Chiefs gained were 245 yards against the Buffalo Bills while the Chiefs were kicking their butts. 2 games, 2 totally different rushing stats, both wins by the Chiefs, both on the road, and both against the teams that are playing right now. Why do I say all this? I'm saying all this to put your weary minds at ease. There's a great video out this week, and I'll look for it and I'll try to post it in the comments below. But it was from a fan. It was a fan video, and it was showing highlights of the Chiefs and the Browns and the Chiefs and the Browns and talking about, basically, don't get it twisted. We're not going to take the Browns for granted. Nobody in that Chiefs locker room is bored. Ask Chris Jones. Nobody in that Chiefs locker room is looking past the Cleveland Browns. They're not looking past this little underdog, this team that's got hunger and heart and wants it. The Chiefs were that team for a long time. Not that long ago, not that far in the rearview mirror, pre-Alex Smith, the Chiefs were that team that just wasn't really a factor. Most of the time, they weren't really going to do much. They maybe could be a playoff team. Most of the time, they weren't. For a long time. After Trent Green left, it was a lot up and down, mostly down. Okay, we got Alex and we got Andy, and they brought validity back to Kansas City. They brought meaningful football back to the Kansas City Chiefs. And with the pickup of Patrick Mahomes and the ascension of Brett Veach to the general manager spot, and just it all climaxed with Andy Reid finally getting his Super Bowl ring and cementing his position in the Football Hall of Fame. The NFL Hall of Fame has got a bust ready to rock and roll for Big Red. Guaranteed. They should be working on it right now. Although by the time he's done, they might need to thin his cheeks out a little bit because he seems to lose a little bit of weight every year. Happens when you get older. Maybe he's laying off the barbecue a little. I don't know. But look for a really focused Chiefs offense tomorrow. Nobody remembers more clearly than the Kansas City Chiefs do last year's debacle of going into the playoffs. And for us, a debacle is struggling and then winning. Remember when our debacles were, we should have this game wrapped up and we lose in the last 2 minutes? We're not that team anymore. This team can start out slow, come back and win. Start out hot, let a team creep back in and still win by 2 scores. Or they can win nail biters. They can win with the run game. They can win with the defense. They can win with special teams. The old saying is dance with who brung you. The Cleveland Browns, if they're smart, will depend mostly upon their running game and their back-to-back, their bookend running backs in Nick Chubb and once former Chief Kareem Hunt. Okay, 2 outstanding backs. We don't know if Clyde's going to be healthy yet, but if he is, the Chiefs are no slouches in the running back department with Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as their duo. By the way, we have Patrick Mahomes in the back. People keep talking about this 2016 college football game, this shootout between 2 college dynamos. The problem being, Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who were not metaphorically, but statistically, the worst defense in FBS football. They could not stop a breeze. They couldn't stop anything. Not Drew Brees. Drew Brees is phenomenal. I mean, they were just pathetic. It was basically Cliff Kingsbury had to pat Patrick on the shoulder and say, we need 60 today to be in this game. Okay, coach, we need 40 today. All right, coach, to have a shot. You got it, coach. Whatever you need, coach. If you switch those 2 quarterbacks, it's not a big shootout. It's the Red Raiders getting their butts spanked by Patrick Mahomes and the Oklahoma Sooners. That's not how it played out. Baker had a great game. Baker had a great team. Baker had first-round draft picks in the NFL on his offense and defense, playing against Texas Tech Red Raider team that had Patrick Mahomes and not a lot else. Tomorrow's game. Kudos to the Browns. You made it to the playoffs. You had to beat the Steelers to get in, and you had to beat the Steelers to get your first win. That's gigantic. To me, I would say that's tantamount to winning your first playoff game at home in 22 years and then struggling in the AFC Championship like the Chiefs did back in 2018. It might be a lot. It might be a little too much for the Browns to suck up all that energy again and back-to-back weeks try to go against a juggernaut of a team like the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Last week, they got the grill off their shoulder. This week, there's 10 gorillas standing in the room that aren't ready to give up their banana. I've got the Chiefs in this game, 38-21. There could be more scoring. It could be a tighter game. I don't know. I haven't picked the score right all season long because Andy likes to dial it back once we've got a lead. But look for the Chiefs to come out slinging it. And if Patrick Mahomes ends up leading the game in rushing, don't be surprised. He did it against the Texans. He did it against the Titans. Go Chiefs.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.